Hi guys, I'm Amanda Bacopoulos, and today I'm just going to be briefly talking about disability and the church body. So I've been working with people with special needs for about 8.5 years now in different capacities, and in that time frame, I cannot tell you how many times someone has said to me something along the lines of, "Oh, wow, you must be such a special person," or "You must have such a special heart to do the work that you do." And don't get me wrong, that those sentiments are so appreciated. They're encouraging and validating, but I do not believe that they are necessarily biblically accurate. Now, anyone who works in this field can attest that you hear that all the time, and it comes from a wonderfully good place of wanting to be encouraging, but scripture tells us that we are to love our neighbors. It does not specify whether or not our neighbors have disability or not. God doesn't say, okay, you're going to love your neighbors, you're going to preach the gospel. However, when it comes to people with special needs, I'm going to have a little really unique subgroup of people, and they'll just focus on loving them, and you guys just focus on the typical neighbors. That's not what scripture says. And while I think it's so important to celebrate our individual gifts within the church body, I also think it is incredibly important that we realize that as a faith as a whole, as a Christian community, we need to embrace people with special needs, because scripture tells us that the parts of the body that seem weakest are indispensable. Only 5 to 10% of the special needs community has heard the gospel. That means that a portion of the church that is indispensable to the body is 90% being missed. We also know through scripture that from Genesis that tells us that we're created in God's image regardless of ability, to I think it's Exodus where God tells Moses that he can use disability specifically to accomplish his own plan, to Romans that tells us to be countercultural. And in a culture that is time, money, efficiency, power driven, it would be countercultural to bring in people with special needs. 100%. But we see throughout the Bible that God is always moved with compassion when meeting people with special needs. Scripture makes it abundantly clear that these people are a part of God's plan and need to be a part of our church body. I think it's food for thought that in a world that is so enwrapped with violence and hate and just evil, we see it all the time. You turn on your news, it's there. What just happened in Paris? It's never ending. For us to take a stand for a group of people that are kind of categorized by the world standards as the weak would be such a powerful message. And in the same breath, what we do by bringing people with special needs into the church body doesn't even compare to the impact that these people are going to have on our fellowship, on our church. I want to end with a quote by the one and only Christine Caine, amazing, amazing woman. She said, "Jesus said, whatever we do for the least of these, we actually have done for him." This shows me that when we reach out to the poor, the marginalized, the prisoners, and the broken, we are not being like Jesus to them. They are like Jesus to us. This is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. I have seen Christ's love through my friends with special needs time and time again. And I believe wholeheartedly that they are indispensable to God's plan for his people. I really appreciate you guys listening. I hope that this was something to think about. Get the wheels turning a little bit. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.